I'm back. I'm back, motherfuckers.
You got the new bag now.
Oh yeah.
You ready? Everyone ready?
Yeah, we ready.
Alright, let's get it. What's goody, what's goody, what's really goody? This is Codigo Red here at Dash Radio, and I'm with Dezzy Hollow, the mastermind. What's goody? How you feeling?
Yo, homegirl, what's poppin'? I'm chilling. I'm having a good day. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy you're here with me, so we can really chop it up so everyone can get a feel of who Dezzy Hollow is. Now, I know you're from Oceanside, which is like an hour or so, you said, away from San Diego, right?
Yeah, it's an hour north of San Diego and an hour and a half away south from LA.
Okay.
So I get a little bit of both.
And then I see on your Instagram, you have like an Oceanside brand that you rep. So is that your brand, or is that a friend's brand that you just go hard for because that's your hometown, or what?
Yeah, so I'm with it's me and my label Mad Strange, and we have a clothing store in Oceanside, and we make gear for the town, and yeah, we just linked up. It's me and Mad Strange. So we're a partnership.
Okay, so you mentioned Mad Strange. So tell me, when did you start your partnership with them?
I'd probably say like 4 years ago or 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it started with us just they were doing videos, and we shot a video together, and we really liked each other's work ethic, and we felt like it was a good match to keep working together. And then from there, maybe like after the first time we worked, like a year after that, we established our first storefront, and then after that, we just kept trying to expand. But we've been working for like 5 years solid.
Okay. And how long were you independent before you even joined Mad Strange?
Well, I mean,
well, before you guys collaborated and whatnot, how long were you putting in the work?
Well,
yourself?
before I started working with Mad Strange, I had been releasing like projects when I was in high school, middle school, and they were just test runs for me. I was just trying to figure out my sound because when I was young, I really wanted to sound like certain other artists, and then it took me a while to actually find my own sound.
And what artists were those?
It was a lot of West Coast, like the East Siders, West Side Connection, Snoop Dogg, DJ Quick, Sugar Free. It was like real West Coast gangster rap. I listened to a lot of that when I was younger, so that was kind of like what my music was leaning towards. So after a while, I started getting my own sound, and yeah, I can say now that I found my image and my sound.
And how would you describe your image and your sound?
My image more so is my image to me is it's like damn, how would I explain it? My sound for sure is very like it could go. I can lean into any genre. Like to me, 1 minute I'll do R&B, the next minute I'll be doing trap, and then I'll be doing some West Coast stuff like funk. And I think we'll be playing that for you today. But I like to lean into all genres and just test myself. And I love doing collabs with certain artists that are out of my comfort zone because it kind of tests my penmanship.
So do you often challenge yourself and try to go out of your comfort zone and see what different avenues you can take?
Yeah, actually, like lately I've been making a lot of R&B, but before that, I was really on like a story mode type of writing style, like the EBT Boy and songs like that have like like a storyline to it. Those are a little more challenging to me because through the whole song you gotta stick to the story. And it's a little more challenging than just writing, anything.
Yeah, you seem like an old soul. I feel like I get that like old school vibe and also like a new school vibe, which is dope because I feel like I haven't really come across an artist who can blend the two of those. And can you tell me any artist that you think can master the blend of old school and new school like you do it?
I can't really put a finger on it, but for me it was always about keeping that that West Coast flavor into whatever I do, because and I don't hear a lot of artists still coming out with that type of sound. So for me it was really important, especially for this latest project I just put out, for me to bring out that sound, that West Coast sound, and keep it alive, because I'm from the West Coast and I got to rep.
Yeah, let's talk about your latest project called Fireside. I was listening to it. I've heard groove, I heard words, I've heard funk. Tell me, what is your favorite song on your album?
I don't really have a favorite song on Fireside, but I feel like the project as a whole, to me, is just like, the whole project is my favorite because it's like a storyline. It's like a biography about myself and my experiences at a park called Fireside, in a neighborhood in Oceanside, and it just speaks about my upbringing. So I don't really have a certain particular favorite song. They all kind of like come together in order to create this biography about myself. But yeah, no, I can't really put a finger on it. I like all of them.
Well, I know you started this year off with Catch Up. So tell me, what was your headspace at when you released that, and versus where it is now that you released Fireside?
Well, you said Catch Up?
Catch Up. I saw that it was a song called Catch Up that you did on your Instagram. No, I'm not tripping.
Yeah, no, that's correct. But you said this year?
It's a release of, maybe I got the year wrong. It was last year or this year? Was it this year or last year? I think it was.
Stay current.
That was my last project, yes, Catch Up.
Mm-hmm.
But what was the question?
Like, where was your headspace at, when you dropped that record versus, you're doing Fireside now and the songs that you produced on that album? Where's the difference between headspace?
I think I've always kept like the same type of mindset. Like a lot of my messages and my music is just talking about hard work and like becoming something out of basically nothing. But nothing really changed. It's just when I went from that project to the Fireside project, I was more so aiming on letting people know who I was. And giving them some insight about my background. So that was like the whole reason behind the Fireside project when I released it, was to let people know who I was. And it was very important for me to complete the Fireside project, because to me it was like I listened to the project and it just takes me back to down memory lane,
And for those who may not be that familiar with your project, give us a little bit more insight on where you come from, your childhood and your upbringing.
Well, I'm from Oceanside, California, and I grew up off a street called Fireside, and it was me. I have two brothers, a sister. My mom's and pops. My pops is from East LA. My mom's she's from down south too, Oceanside area, and I grew up on my pops. When I grew up, he taught me a lot about like a lot of soul music. He was into even rock and roll. He had like he really was into music, so that kind of got me into, getting an ear for melodies and stuff like that.
And tell me an interesting fact that some people may not even know about you. What's something that only a few may know?
Okay, I'll tell you something. On my free time, when I'm hungry, I just make sandwiches and, I write and eat sandwiches, I'm an EBT boy, so yeah, I'm cool, whatever.
And EBT boy, I know you did a part 2, right, on this Fireside, right? And then you have is it EBT boy on another project that you did too?
Yeah, so the Fireside starts off with EBT boy 2. EBT boy 1 was the beginning of the whole thing, and that was on Stay Current, my last project. So this one is a continuation of the first one.
And I know it went crazy on YouTube. It's reached like, what, 3.7 million or a little bit more views. Tell me how that feels to get that many views, and how does it inspire you to just, keep pushing, keep moving?
Seeing the feedback of the Fireside, to me, was it was a little bit overwhelming. I was super excited because I had been doing music for so long, and coming from Oceanside, it's like there's like no one there to give you, give you a hand, I had to figure, I was trying to figure things out for the longest. So for EBT Boy to get, the views that it did, it was like, I was just thankful. I was really thankful.
What were you expecting, you know, initially when you released it? Like, were you expecting it to get this much attention, this much reaction?
Yeah, the thing is, I never know what kind of numbers my songs that on the videos are gonna do. I never know what people are thinking. Like to me, I just write, you know, I write whatever the best I can, and hopefully, you know, somebody, you know, catches someone's attention. But before the EBT boy, that was like, yeah, that was amazing. That was actually my first video, I think, to hit 1 million. And once I seen those numbers, I was like, damn, this shit is really possible.
Yeah, it's an easy call. So tell me, out of like all the tracks that you have made, what are some of your favorite lyrics?
Damn, that's a hard one. I have so many different bodies of work. It's like there's just so many lyrics, and they all talk about their own certain subjects, and I can't really, you know, say which one's my favorite, but yeah, no, they all add up. They all add up.
Okay,
I don't have a favorite.
We'll lighten up. Tell me, are there any tracks that you feel like didn't get as much attention as you wanted them to?
Plenty, all of them. All of them, all my songs. You know, I just feel like, you know, there's so much more expanding for me to do. Even though I've been working, you know, for a long time and trying to, you know, get an audience, I have it's just the beginning. You know, I have so much more to go, and right now I'm still figuring things out.
And tell me, where do you see the growth from when you drop like slow jam playlists? Because I know, like, I love slow jams. I'm an old soul myself. I was listening to it. I think I was listening to Rodeo.
So you went from EBT boy to the slow jams. You was like, what the hell? What's wrong with this guy?
No, but when I listen to it, you're right though. You have such a diverse style that I feel like you can really dip into any lane. So seeing that versatility is dope, because not a lot of artists can do that. A lot of artists just stay in that one lane, but showing that you can be so diverse and go from slow to like the rapping, intense, you know, to the cool vibes. It's always like a cool vibe though. It's nothing ever too heavy. You know?
Yeah. I try not to get too out of pocket on the songs, because, yeah, I try not to lose my integrity. So, but sometimes I do. Yeah, sometimes I get a little crazy.
And tell me, how is the love from Oceanside versus anywhere else, you know, from your hometown and stuff? How do people react seeing how you've grown and you're going from here to there and you're just moving up?
So Oceanside is very, very prideful, like the people, you know, to be from there. So for me to like be able to like have a voice and in a way represent, you know, Oceanside, it's to me it's you know, it's, I'm thankful, but I feel like the people, like, they support, you know. There's never really been anybody to make, you know, like, bring a lot of spotlight to the city. So for me to be able to be in a position to, you know, possibly do something like that, it's, you know, I feel the support. There's a lot of people out here that, you know, are really proud to have somebody from the city actually doing something.
What West Coast artists have you not linked up with yet that you really want to do a project with?
DJ Quick.
DJ Quick?
Yeah.
Who else? That's the only one right now?
Oh, somebody new?
Anyone, you know, anybody.
Well, there's, I can't off the top of the head, I don't know. I'm just so, you know, I just want to make songs with these old school, you know, legends that I've been listening to for so long before I get to these, you know, other artists, but yeah,
so you want to reach the old heads first before you get to the new.
You know, it's like to be listening to certain artists and then meet them in person. It's like, it's an experience. And then there's so many artists that I want to meet and work with that it'll come around. So
tell us about the artists that you have worked with.
Well, I've been working a lot with Mitchie Slick. I don't know if you're familiar with Mitchie Slick. He's from San Diego. A good dude. He reached out to me after I released a song called OE. It started getting traction, and he pulled up on me, and he's he's an artist from San Diego that has brought a lot of attention. And when he came to see me and wanted to work with me, I was very surprised, because at the time I wasn't really getting that many numbers. So he was one of the first artists that really like kind of gave me a little bit of game, and also supported me, you know, somebody that had a name. He was the first one, so shout out Mr. Slick. Other artists, you know, I have a song coming. Well, I worked on a song with Rob Stone.
Okay, no, I know who Rob Stone is.
Yeah, he's still out here now, but me and him be chopping it up, and I'm working on getting some more. I'm working on getting some more features.
Okay, and I know you talked about challenges, you know, and you're such a heavy West Coast type of guy. Tell me about the East Coast. Are there any East Coast artists that you feel like might just match your style, or if they don't, you guys would be a dope collab just because you guys kind of, you know, complement each other with the different styles?
East Coast. Damn, that's a good question. Damn, East Coast, East Coast. There's just so many artists.
I mean, like a top three.
That I would work with in the East Coast. You know what? Who I do want to make a song with is Cousin Stiz. You know Cousin Stiz?
I think I've heard of him. I'm not too familiar with his music, but I think I've heard of him.
Well, he's
Where's he from?
He's from Boston.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta type in because I listen to a lot of East Coast.
Yeah, so he's one now that for sure want to make a song with. Let's see who else. East Coast. ASAP. ASAP is dope.
There's so many ASAPs nowadays, you know. A lot of littles, you know. You got
ASAP Rocky, man. ASAP Rocky for sure. Yeah. ASAP Rocky.
I know, I can see with the braids, you know, y'all kind of have the same little steez. I see.
Shout out ASAP.
But, you know, you being from an hour away from San Diego, you know, I don't really hear too many San Diego artists making it out, or I don't hear too much about any San Diego artists popping in general. So why do you think that is? And it's dope that you're one of the few, you know, to be able to really be heard from that area.
You know, a lot of people be saying they want to get out of the city and they want to, you know, get a fan base outside of the city and stuff like that. But for me, like, everything started at home. I built a fan base at home, and the support that I got from there, it slowly started, you know, people started to catch on around, you know, like around Oceanside. And then from there, like, it started going, you know, people started playing my music worldwide. And for me, I think that as long as you make quality music and you stay, you know, 100, the people are going to support. So I think my city sees that, and they support. And I'm just thankful for that.
And I know we touched on your city, but where are your roots from? You know, you have a really ethnically ambiguous look going on. You know, what is the culture?
I'm quite a few things. I did take an ancestry test, but I haven't even read the results yet. But my mom's is a Latina, and my pops is Indonesian, and a bunch of other stuff. But I haven't really researched into it. But yeah, no, I'm a mutt.
You're a mutt.
I'm everything.
So do you speak Spanish fluently?
No, you know, I don't. I don't really speak Spanish at all.
You don't speak Spanish at all?
I mean, I can understand it, but I don't really speak Spanish. I need to brush up on some Spanish, though. What about you? Codigo?
Me, I know Codigo is Spanish, but sad to say, I don't think I'm Spanish. I think I am some type of islander. I did the DNA test, too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just waiting to see, you know, but I wanted to know, have you been able to reach out to, you know, like your roots, your culture, you know, maybe going to, you know, like Mexico or Puerto Rico or just a Latina culture?
Lately I have been going and doing shows and working with artists in Mexico, and my last trip I got to actually go to the pyramids.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, it was an experience. Like, they're so high in the sky. Those pyramids.
Yeah.
But just the culture out there is beautiful. I love visiting out there, being out there. It's just fun. It's good people, you know, compared to, you know, being over here. You go over there and they don't have much, you know, and you come over here, it's like everybody has what they, you know, pretty much what they want, so they have a different, you know, their persona. They're less welcoming, you know. Over there, it's like everything is just so friendly.
Mm-hmm. So you hit Mexico. What other areas have you hit? I'm trying
to hit Europe. I'm trying to do some shows out there. My listeners out there, I feel like they deserve a show, so I want to find myself out there soon. I want to.
So if you were to go to Europe, let's say tomorrow or the next 2 days, you know, and they're like, what song do you want to open up with? What would be the first song you would choose to open up with?
Oh, EBT Boy, for sure. I think EBT Boy. EBT Boy actually had like a lot of a lot of the comments on EBT Boy are from like Europe, you know, like a lot of commenters were from Europe. So I think EBT Boy would be cool to do out there. It's a cool flavor, and the flow on EBT Boy is so different. It's very different. So I think that would be cool, and I love performing EBT Boy because it's a challenge. Like those, if I don't take my breath at certain pockets, then the song is ruined. Like I'm gonna mess the whole song up. So that's why I like EBT Boy. It's a challenge.
You know, you said you didn't really have a favorite track, but I feel like EBT Boy is your favorite track. I mean, you got it in your little bio and Instagram, EBT Boy. You feel me? So I feel like, oh yeah, I know. You know, I did a little homework, a little research and whatnot. But do you feel like you really have a connection to EBT Boy and why? I mean, I know the results, the responses have been crazy, but EBT Boy, I mean, like I said, it's in your bio. The comments have been crazy. The flow is just different. Do you feel like EBT Boy is a track that you need to continue to take some of that style and continue to produce more songs like that? Or are you just going to continue to do whatever you feel and comes off your heart?
So yeah, no, I had considered like taking that formula for EBT Boy because it did so well. But then that type of flow and like how I structured that song, like it goes well with the idea of that song. Like I don't feel like I can do that type of, you know, flow and the switch ups on like an R&B song. You know, so it's like I can't carry that formula into all my songs, but I try to, you know, switch it up on my flows and stuff like that. But that song though is a really good formula, and it did take off for me. But when I write, like I don't know, it just comes out differently. Like I can't help myself. You know, I just go off of the beat, and then that's how I get my melody. So usually no beat is the same. So I always have to switch it up.
So tell me, what are your goals for 2019? You know, where do you see yourself by the end of this year? What are your expectations?
My goals for 2019, for sure, my goals are to my number one goal is to just become. There's certain there's like a stretch, you know, like a stretch, and like there's certain little pinnacles I have to hit, you know, and I just want to hit all of them, you know, like, but I'm not saying that it'll all come in 2019. So I mean, my goal is to just do the best I can and excel, and you know, just put all my effort I can into, you know, making this year something that'll get me ready for next year. You know what I'm saying? So that I can hit, you know, the rest of the goals that I have in order to get where I need to be. Because I know it's going to take a while. Especially being, you know, in the type of position, you know, I'm in, the type of artist I am.
Yeah, and it definitely is going to take a while, you know. Like Nipsey Hussle would say, it's a marathon, you know. The marathon continues. And we just lost a legend, you know, and an inspiration, a motivator. Tell me, what type of influence did he have on you?
Honestly, when I heard that he passed, like, it was like very, if for me it felt very like, it kind of hurt, you know. It was almost as if I knew him like as a friend, you know. And all I could do was listen to his music and watch his interviews, you know, and whatever piece of him that still remained, you know, I was just hurt. But for me, he was like, and especially like being independent so long, like he was the blueprint, and he was a role model for me. Like everything he said, like on his interviews, like he would talk about like the industry, and he would talk about like his game plan and just like things that are essential that like a lot of people wouldn't know unless they were actually doing it, you know. And I'm actually doing it, you know. Like I'm almost like trying to follow his footsteps in a way. So when he's like giving this game and stuff, it's crazy that some people don't even pay attention, you know.
And what type of impact do you think he'll have on the rest of the city of LA and down to San Diego and Oceanside as far as like the streets and gang banging?
Nip.
Do you think the city would change? Do you feel like these areas might feel inspired to change? Because that's what Nip wanted to do essentially, you know, is change these communities that have like a harder time, you know, trying to make it.
Nipsey definitely he definitely made, like, I wouldn't say like peace, but he definitely brought people together. He definitely brought people together, and the message in his music was like something that both sides could relate to, you know. But as far as like people, like, you know, like what you said, like people, I don't know, as far as people, like, you know, I think people have their own judgment on things, but for the most part, Nipsey brought people together. That's what I'm trying to say, instead of me saying something that I shouldn't say.
So with all that being said, go ahead and tell me what you want to do for the people. What type of message you want to give to the people and generations coming up?
For me, I just want to inspire. I definitely want to see, you know, where this road takes me, and work as hard as I can. And, you know, if I'm able to make it to the, you know, like, to the top, then it's a proven point that anybody can, you know, especially coming from a small city, you know, that no one's ever came from. It's like, for me, it's like for that main reason, I want to, you know, I want to excel. I want to show people that, you know, anything's possible.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, knowing nowadays that mental illness is kind of a thing, you know, it's kind of a thing we've been talking about in news and society. Tell me, how would you tell kids coming up or youth coming up who want to aspire to be what you are or what you are doing right now, as far as the competitiveness and the adversities that you may face in life? How do you stay afloat? How do you continue to stay driven, stay motivated with everything else going on?
It's hard. It's tough. It's tough, and I think the toughest part is to not let, like, certain emotions show to people. I think it's important to keep a positive attitude in front of people, and even when you talk to them, you know, like, if you're down and you talk to somebody that listens to your music and they feel that, like, they might take it the wrong way, you know, it might discourage them. So, I mean, if you always having a positive attitude, no matter, you know, what you're going through, I mean, it shows people that, you know, no matter how hard shit gets, like, there's no reason not to have a positive attitude about things, you know. Things could always get better. It's basically what you make it, you know.
Definitely. Well, Dezzy Hollow, you're definitely a dope individual. You have good vibes. Seems like you got a good heart, and you know, you're on the road to some great things, I feel like. And I'm so glad you came through. Thank you so much. Go ahead and tell us what your social media is so we can check you out. Tell us where we can find all your music, all the platforms it's on, and all that good stuff.
So I'm Dezzy Hollow once again, and on social media it's Dezzy Hollow, DEZZY HOLLOW, and I'm on YouTube, Spotify, everything, Pandora, Google Play, everything, you know. So yeah, I'm Dezzy.
All right, you all heard it. Dezzy came through, told us what's really goody. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we're going to end this episode today with one of my favorite tracks from Fireside, and that's going to be Funk. What's really goody?
What platforms?
Yeah. Nigga didn't have no lunch money. Nigga didn't have no cool shoes or nothing, man. It was trio, you know? Little sister hair nappy and shit, you know what I'm saying? This nigga got a chunk of every day for somebody talking about his sister. You know, it was inevitable. These club vibes, I know. These last days, I know. My backwards. ET boy, dream dripping in cash. Life is too short, so I'm living it fast. Running from the coach, I'm making it last. Investing in the future, just a thing of the past. EBT boy, dream dripping in cash. Life is too short, so I'm living it fast. Running from the coach, I'm making it last. Investing in the future, just a thing of the past. These days.
But the quality.
It's not really like the scenes are set, like they're not backdrops. They're like actual.
Yeah, they're real set.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can ever prosper this way. I don't know if I can ever see things the same. Phone call my connect, heard it y'all with some big weight. I need something for my mind, I've been trying to get my shit straight.
Baby feet.
Yeah, I do have baby feet. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, now I'm like,
What's goody? I'm here with the famous.
One more time.
Okay.
Ready?
What's goody? I got 2 words for you, Dezzy. Hollow in the building.
What's poppin'? Codigo Red, Dash right here. What's happening, man? Oceanside, California, EBT board.
Make sure you go check out his latest drop, Fireside, on all platforms. Go get it. Go tap in.